Our first keynote speaker is Dr. Rajendra M. Sonar, professor at IIT Bombay. Professor Sonar has more than 32 years of mixed experience spanning software development, training, teaching, entrepreneurship, research, and consulting. He is a hands-on expert with proficiency in various programming languages from C to Python, database system, frameworks, and tools. His journey in AI began in 1992 as a part of his master's degree and has been working on applied AI since 1996. In 2005, he founded iCan Solution, an AI startup at IIT Bombay. He holds bachelor's, master's, and PhD degrees in computer science. His research interests include applied AI, hybrid AI system integrating expert systems, artificial neural networks, case-based reasoning, and genetic algorithms applied to business problem solving. He has guided multiple PhD students, authored numerous papers in international journals and conferences, and published a book on AI driven solutions. Today, Dr. Sonar will enlighten us on making Gen AI work for intelligent systems, an insightful session that explores how generative AI can be harnessed to develop smarter, more efficient intelligent systems. Let's welcome Dr. Sonar. Sir, the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Is my background screen is flipped or something?
Yes, sir?
See some is my background screen is visible properly
Yes,
or
sir.
it is
Yes,
flipped?
yes, it's perfect.
Yeah. So very good morning. Thanks to university like Jalsat by inviting me to this conference, and my special thanks to Professor Chirag who has been coordinating. So very warm good morning to all of you. And this is something like when I got invitation from the university, and since intelligence system is something I've been working since 1996. So I started working on my PhD in 1996, and that time I think you must be knowing the technology was completely different. We used to use MATLABs and SAS kind of packages. But last recent, say what has happened in 3 4 years is completely drastic change the way the AI was done. Because I think most of you must be knowing that AI started long back. First definition was mine in 1950s. There was long period, most of the focus was on expert systems like cloning human expertise and so on. But like ChatGPT or Gemini, they have changed the way the things are done. Like I'm personally working on ChatGPT since 10 months. It's a paid version and it's doing wonderful job. So whatever problem I tried to solve in 2005 as my startup company, I was trying to build an interface which is like a voice-based interface or text-based interface. So you just talk and then system will do behind the scene. For example, if you see current apps,
Sorry to interrupt you, sir, but currently, are you sharing some slide or not?
no, I'm just okay. I'll share and then speak. I was
Okay,
just making
okay.
the note.
Sure, sir, sure.
Okay, I think better I just lost. I think there's some issues in full PowerPoint mode. Why did I miss it? Sorry, some stuff has disabled my. Okay, very good. I'm sorry. Yeah. What I was talking about, like I've been using ChatGPT almost from last 10 months, and it has solved a lot of problems that I was struggling in 2005. So what I was talking about, like let's say any application, like a banking application, most of the times what happens, like even if you have subscribed to one product, but it goes on showing all products and sometimes. So what we were trying to do at that point of time, let's say you have an Alexa and you speak to Alexa to do your net banking. You say, okay, Alexa, I want to transfer 50,000 rupees to XYZ by IMPS, and it should do your job in the background. So no navigation, no icons, nothing. So it's completely voice based and text-based interface. But one of the challenges I faced that point of time is NLP, natural language processing. It's quite a complex kind of, job. It's not that easy. But large language models, they have made it much easier. So what my plan is like to run through quickly what are the intelligence system, what is the Gen AI, and what are the opportunities to use Gen AI in intelligence system. This plan. So this is just a recap. I think since it's on a keynote for intelligence system, I assume most of you know all these intelligence systems. If you see on the left hand side, there's so many things which are actually part of intelligence systems. Like we have expert system, fuzzy logic, neural networks. See, neural networks have been around. Like when I did my PhD in 1996, I was trying to connect neural networks, expert system, genetic algorithm, and database systems together. But that time we were using, as I told you, mostly as you write your own code or use your MATLAB or something. But then Python has made the things much easier. It has really democratized ML. Now you have a lot of libraries. You can have a lot of things done. You have Tesseract. You have Keras library, then Google also has, TensorFlow and so on. So things have become quite, easier nowadays. But if you see on the right hand side, these are like typical broader approaches to make the machine intelligent. You can have knowledge-based system, natural language processing, machine learning, genetic algorithm, case-based reasoning, model-based reasoning, reinforcement learning, and so on, which actually help us to make machines more intelligent. And that's how still not going to much theory about intelligence system. I just assume you guys know it well. So to put in a short, like what intelligence system they do the job that as a human being we do. For example, they interpret the things. They tell us the decision. Or suppose you have a OCR kind of a response, so they can intelligently recognize the character and so on. Okay, so if you now, I'll just put into Gen AI capabilities. Although you might have heard about this one, to me, one of the things that Gen AI has done, it has actually breathed the English and technical words seamlessly. That's why a lot of time people say like English is a new coding language, but I believe English is a language for everything. Because if you know the English, you can get the work done by ChatGPT. Although it's research, teaching, even for a teaching, it is quite easier, right? Like you don't have to now teach on a blackboard. You can just have a projector and can just connect to ChatGPT and can start teaching your students. You don't have to write a lot of things. So, for example, suppose you are teaching object-oriented programming, so you can just tell ChatGPT, okay, I'm teaching ChatGPT, object-oriented programming today. Can you just give me some example? So ChatGPT may probably work out, and you can choose a language. The good thing about ChatGPT or Gen AI in general, you can choose the language of your choice. So if you are teaching Java, if you are teaching C++, or you're teaching any other language, it will do a job for you. You just specify what you're looking for. So you say, okay, I want to teach, object-oriented programming today through C++ language. So can you just create some classes for me? And it will go on creating. And now what you do, you just explain. You just explain. For example, suppose a typical example in object oriented, we give that shape example. So you have a base object as a shape, and then you can inherit a square, circle, like that. So advantage is you don't have to write a lot of code now. You can explain the student in much better way. So similarly, if suppose you are teaching database management system, you can just take some brief case study and tell ChatGPT, okay, this is my big case study. Can you just create a database schema for me? And it can be in Oracle, it can be in Sybase, it can be in SQL Server. You can choose any language, any database management system, and it will just create a set of database tables, and then it will have that referential integrity, primary keys, and everything. And then now you can explain the students how two tables are connected. In fact, you can ask ChatGPT to create a entity relationship diagram out of whatever this one. So I think things have become much easier, and then even you can teach all full stack coding also. Like you can even go further and tell ChatGPT, now I want to develop a single application where the front end, the middle layer, and your back end. And you can specify front end, you want, like a bootstrap or plain CSS, and it will do the job for you. So that means making things have become much easier. So like your visual problem is also solved. Like if you show a particular object to ChatGPT and ask the ChatGPT to explain what it is, it can explain it. Right? So visual search also has become easier when we are using this one. See, ChatGPT is just an example. Then other, like Gemini and others. So since I work mostly on ChatGPT, I'm telling more about ChatGPT. And I think most of you know what are the what are the capabilities of Gen AI, like text generation and processing, image and video generation, code generation, speech and response. So it has seamlessly connected natural language word. And one of the good things about like Gen AI, it creates the format you want. So for example, suppose you want like Gen AI to convert your database schema into JSON format, it will do for you. Suppose you are creating set of rules from your manual and telling ChatGPT, okay, you create a set of rules in my format, so you can specify if then else format, and it will do for you. So advantage is you can actually connect to your application much easily. In older days, we struggled a lot, because one is like there were no NLP as powerful as it's today. There was no vision and multimodal things, as I think you must be knowing. The ChatGPT 4.0, it has a multimodal. That means you can have audio, you can have a video, as well as you can have a text. So it actually connects all these things together. Otherwise, we were using it in more silos and so on. This one. Okay, now let's come back to what topic we have. So let's take you have a Gen AI at one side and you have intelligence system at one side. So if you are working in artificial neural network, or if you are working on expert system, or you are working on case-based reasoning, because there are multiple, or fuzzy logic. There are a lot of techniques which actually help us to implement intelligence system. Now, if you look at every technology, let's take an expert system, or case-based reasoning. These are typically knowledge-based systems or fuzzy logic systems. So what they need a lot of knowledge. Suppose you want to develop a medical diagnosis system, or you want to develop a loan underwriting system. So you need an expert. You need a doctor to whom you will sit and try to extract the knowledge and can actually put in some rule-based form or claim-based form. So that's an input requirement. But then what you can do now, you can just ask ChatGPT, look, I'm developing a simple medical diagnosis system, and can you just generate a rule for me? And you can specify what format you want, because it depends on what rule engine you are using. So I think you must be knowing there are a lot of expert system shells are available, and each expert system shell has its own format, right? Like you can see those formats, and you can tell ChatGPT either you create a rule in the form of simple if then else, or you can actually create this. Okay, so that's all. Then types of problem, like for example, what kind of problem neural networks solve, what kind of problem genetic algorithms solve. So genetic algorithms are good for optimization, right? It's very good. While expert system for knowledge automation, case-based reasoning for a help desk, they reuse the human expertise. So each system has a capabilities, like for example, neural networks are able to learn the things on their own. They are adaptable, while expert systems are not like because any rule change, the expert systems have to be explicitly this one. And each one has limitations, and putting them into the context, operationalizing them into the actual system. Suppose you have developed one expert system which actually say gives what kind of rewards the customer should have, based on the customer profile, based on the customer buying. Now you need to put that system into actual, you have to connect to billing system or your ERP system and so on. So that's what I mean operationalization. So all these things, in good old days, you had to struggle a lot. But now what you can do, you can actually put a Gen AI behind the scene, and you can say, okay, you can tell Gen AI, this is my expert system, and it actually tells you. In fact, you can get a lot of your agents also developed. I have been working on AI agents recently. So there is a lot of similarity between, say, if you take, for example, expert system as an example, because expert system also has a set of rules, and it has a if part in condition part and a then part, right? Typical, and it has an inference engine, it has a memory also. So if you just compare with AI agents, you can find out a lot of similarity. Now, what is advantage? Whatever knowledge required by intelligence system that can probably be acquired by Gen AI, this one. So that's what I told you. In fact, I have been working on there's a in fact Gujarat is one of the states we are actually working on. So Gujarat industrial policy. So what this interesting use case is like, for example, suppose you are an entrepreneur or if you are a businessman and you want to see whether which state is good for you to set up your startup and which state is giving, depending on what kind of startup you want to do, whether you want to do it in solar or energy or whatever in this one. Then this system will help, which is the right state, which is the right scheme for you, which gives you more incentives, helps in a lot of support and so on. So what exactly we did, since this time is very short, I cannot show you the demo or something, but I will just discuss with you what exactly we have done. So we just failed the industry's policies. For example, if you go to MSAB website of Gujarat state, there are industry policy documents. This one. So you just take a PDF, upload it on, uh, ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, can you extract the rules from this document? And you can specify the format, if then, else, then format, and so on. It does a job wonderful. It actually says, okay, these are the categories. For example, woman entrepreneur, SC, ST, and then startup, what kind of sector and everything. Now, once you have this in place, what probably you can do? You can use technologies like case-based reasoning to find out the most matching policies and matching state, and then you can connect them together. So things have become much easier. And this is just one document. So if you do for one document, it actually does for rest of the document because once you make a prompt, in fact, you must be knowing a lot of people are actually, using English like SQL, ask my database. So, because you don't have to write a queries now, if you don't know SQL, you can still now get the things done. You just give your schema to GenAI understands your schema, and if you just say, okay, tell me what are my customer joined last month, and it will show to you. Now, if you say, tell me the customers who have given me the, more number of orders, it will just convert that English into text, SQL, and it will execute SQL, and then it will show the results. Now, what I mean here, like you can seamlessly integrate your English document, or of course, people are actually working on Indian languages or vernacular languages. They're trying to even there are vertical specific initiatives like legal. A lot of startups are trying to feed a lot of legal documents to the Gen AI, and then you can help the lawyer. If a lawyer has a case, then lawyer can possibly use to find out which is the most similar case and what is the likely verdict and so on. So coming back to what I was talking about, that knowledge acquisition part, which normally intelligence system like expert system, case-based reasoning, fuzzy logic, they were missing. That can you substantiate with these capabilities. In fact, you can build very intelligent search, by using, for example, suppose if you just you are a part of Mintra.com, and somebody just shows this is the shoes I want to buy. So Gen AI can understand, okay, what kind of shoes it is, what is the brand. It even understand what kind of sole it has, whether it's a running shoes or something. And then once you have that information in place, you can just search, intelligently. So your search, your NLP, everything is taken care of. And there are a lot of opportunities, I tell you, especially if you just again go back to intelligence system, whatever weaknesses or whatever issues we had at that point of time, you can now use GenAI for that. And that's what I've been trying. I've been trying to make ChatGPT work for intelligence system like expert system, fuzzy logic, neural net. Now, how you can actually put them together? I think you must have heard about the auto ML as a part of that. At least, can you just make end-to-end, ML, right? From because the stack, ML stack, it starts from getting the data, pre-processing on cleaning the data, labeling the data, it is supervised learning, and then selecting the model. First, you have to understand what kind of problem you're trying to solve, whether it's a classification problem, clustering problem, association mining problem, and so on. Then you select the algorithm. You have choice of selecting algorithm. Like if you take, say, classification as an example, you can use random forest, you can use SVM, you can use logistic regression, depending on what kind of data. So AutoML even suggests what kind of model, you must be having a like Carrot PI. It's an AutoML, kind of interface which actually selects automatically model. So once you select the model, then it actually runs the data dividing into 30, 70%, like 70%. So can these activities can be synchronized? That means can you make Gen AI work for you to have that completely end to end? That's possible. Because see what Gen AI has done, whatever manual intervention as a human expert we have, that is taken care of now. And there's a lot of people are using end to end processes, right? From suppose very simple example, you have subscribed to a plan X, say to some telecom operator. Now you want to change to plan Y, so you write an email. Okay, hi in charge. I already subscribed to plan X. I want to change to plan Y, and my customer ID is this. Now there is no manual intervention required because you can just make all these systems connected to each other. So very simple, like your NLP can understand whether what you are looking for. So NLP tells, okay, I think you must have heard about the name entity recognition, and GenAI does very well. What is the advantage of name entity recognition? Suppose you are just typing something. I want to fly to Bangalore on 25th by Air India at 7 a.m. You are just telling your thing. What it does, it tries to extract the entities. So what are the entities? It understands. Okay, you want to fly on 25th. So it says, okay, 25th March. You want to fly at 7 a.m. So it understands your time is 7 a.m. You want to go on 25th. Then it understands, okay, you want to fly by Air India. So it says this is your airline. Now it says, okay, you want to go to Bangalore. So it says destination. Now what it does, it converts that complete NLP piece into more structured piece. Now, what is the advantage of having all of us understand once you have data in structure, you can search it, right? So you can put your, again, SQL engine to work behind the scene and you can search a flight which is actually at 7 a.m. on 25th by Air India. So it may not be 7 a.m., right? Because you can use some kind of case-based reasoning or fuzzy logic to say, okay, if there's some flight at 7:15 or quarter to 7, that works for you. This way. So that means here, what we are trying to do, we are just removing a complete human intervention, and we are taking to the customer to the what customer is looking for. So what is the advantage? Customer doesn't have to go through searches. Like in commerce, most of the times, what happens? Suppose you want to buy a laptop, and then you click on you want Windows laptop, you want say for example 14 inches laptop, so you have to go by a lot of filters. But can you have a voice-based interface? Just like you must be knowing a lot of drivers, who are Ola, Uber, and otherwise they use voice-based interface for Google Maps. They just speak, okay, I want to go to South Bombay in Nariman Point, whatever office. And what Google Maps does, it actually searches the right destination and it tells. So can we do the similar thing for e-commerce, similar through from net banking? That's possible. You can just get rid of the conventional way of the way the applications are developed, and you can just have a complete voice based application. This one. And in fact, that's what we are also trying as my this one. Can you just have a text based or voice based interface, and then app does behind the scene? Okay. So coming back to what example I was talking about, like it checks whether you have subscribed to plan X and then you want to change to plan Y. It will validate your customer ID and everything through email or whatever credentials. Then what it will do next, it will check whether you are eligible for plan Y or not. If Y plan has some checklist, for example, suppose it needs some your Aadhaar card or something or your PAN card, then you can bring in RPA tool as a part of that, robotic process automation, which will actually check whether you have valid document or not. It will cross check your name with your Aadhaar card and with a spec or not. So your first checklist is done. Okay, that means you have submitted the document. Next, it will check in the billing system whether the plan Y can be subscribed to you and so on, and it is done. So that means if you see this end-to-end processes are now possible because that human intervention is taken care by your Gen AI, so that you can make. So bottom line is any intelligence system you work on, you can probably use Gen AI behind the scene. You can actually make it integrated. You can use it for knowledge acquisition, you can use it for knowledge upgradations, you can use it for integration. Suppose you want to integrate two systems together, you can just get the output from. And that's what my PhD was in. When I started in 1996, my core PhD where I was hybrid intelligence system. So that means can you make the system connect integrate together and you can solve better problem, because there are some limitations. So for example, neural networks cannot explain the thing. So they are like a black boxes. So can you just use some kind of rule extraction from neural network learning and make it more explainable? Okay? So you can actually probably use, and then you can even control. See, like take a neural network as an example or machine learning as an example. So as a human being, what we typically do, as I told you, we go through that ML stack, we do descriptive analytics and so on. Now, whatever activities we do when we model using machine learning, can you just use NLP for that? So what you are doing, you are replacing you as a human and let the machine like. See, typically what we do, suppose you are using some neural network for classification. So we learn for some, sorry, we train the network for some thousand iterations and we see MSE and error. If error is reducing, we continue to still it, it becomes more convergence, or it becomes more generalized. Now, same thing can be probably done. So that means you can use Gen AI to control your artificial neural network, and it can go on experimenting different data sets, and it will tell you, okay, after say some 10-15 different random combination, it will say, okay, your accuracy is 95%, your test accuracy is say 90%, and so on. And it can even create the results. The good thing about Gen AI, or this one, whatever observations or whatever, you can ask to create a table. Like, recently we did very interesting project at IIT Bombay on faculty entrepreneurship, and I tell you what it could have, taken us months. We could literally do it in some, few days and some. So what we did, like we took the interviews of the professors who were actually part of startup companies and various IITs and so on, and then we actually whatever, we recorded the conversation, we converted into PDF format, and we just uploaded on ChatGPT. And we told ChatGPT, look, we are actually doing such kind of project because you have to make the Gen AI understand what problem you are looking for. So in intelligence system context, you tell Gen AI whether you are using expert system, case-based listening, fuzzy logic, neural network, or association mining. The good thing is it understands. It understands. Moment you say association mining, it brings in a lot of knowledge behind the scene. And in fact, it adds more value to you because you might have forgotten something, but it tells you, okay, this is an association mining, or what's the purpose of association mining, why people are using that. And it actually takes that into your problem context. So if you are using it for, say, recommendation engine, so probably it can actually help you. So what we did, we just put like PDF documents to the chat gpt and told chat gpt, hey, look, this is what the project we are working on, and then we have a faculty whom we are actually interviewed, and we want to understand what motivates the faculty, what are the challenges, what are the support system, IITs or national institutes provide for an entrepreneurship. Once it understands what we are looking for, it actually goes through all these 20-25 page documents and try to understand. And then we can tell ChatGPT, okay, let's summarize everything. Suppose you have taken interview of some 25 people, it will just go to every PDF. It will try to extract what motivates faculty to start a startup in respect to incubators at IITs, and it will summarize. So, what is the advantage? You don't have to even, and then you can tell ChatGPT, okay, look, it is summarized in some tabular format, and you can even specify the column. What first column should be, what second column. Now, if you are a technical person and you want to build an kind of app, of course, this is not the right example for app, but I'm just giving an example. So you want to create an app and we want to show, okay, what are the results or something like that. Then you can tell Gen AI, look, don't create in like tabular format. You create in JSON format. So you can specify your key will be column and then list of whatever column names or something, and you just write a code which reads JSON. I think all of you must be knowing the good thing about JSON has become a standard, and almost you can use serialization, deserialization, any programming language you choose. For example, JavaScript also supports it. C++, most of the programming languages support. The easier part is you don't have to write a lot of code in, because we used to use XML a lot. There were a lot of XML parser and readers. But good thing is almost all programming languages now they have libraries for JSON. So it becomes, as a coder, it becomes easier for you to just take that JSON and even move to database. So you can just imagine the potential. You have a lot of documents and then you want to create a database. You can just create JSON files and put into this. Okay, so bottom line is this is just one example, like that I did as a part of that. So we have a faculty handbook, at IIT Bombay. Now the pain point is if I want to take some leave, like I wanted to go on on a leave to my startup company in 2012. Now I had to go through this manual and everything. Okay, this is something 100-page document. Now you don't need to do that, right? Because you can actually give this to Gen AI. Gen AI gives you the insights, all sort of rules. All there are this document has a lot of things like what are the rules for leave, what are the rules for retirement, like scales and everything. It's just like this. So what it does, for example, suppose you want to have a leave management system, so you can just tell ChatGPT just extract all leave rules from this document and create in rule-based format, whatever format you want. And now you just connect your operational system to or your HR system to this rule-based system, and you can wonderful like look at the right search scheme. So system says, how can I help you? So I just say, I'm planning to go on LinkedIn. And by the way, you can have a voice-based interface, right? It may not be text-based interface. You can even speak. Suppose system says, how can I help you? I say, okay, planning to go on a LinkedIn. So just like imagine you have an Alexa, and Alexa is actually helping you to know about your leave, apply for leave. It will be very wonderful, right? You don't even need to open an app. You can just have a voice-based interface. So it says, okay, welcome process owner because it has my record. It says, okay, you are eligible for 2 years. I sure. Now it says how long you want to go. And then after everything, it tells me this is an agreement for you. You just have to print it and on a legal paper and you see it will be very wow factor for me, right? And this is possible now, because you can seamlessly connect the natural NLP word to technical word and technical back to English. In fact, another side is if you get a lot of technical insights, the ChatGPT can convert into corresponding policy implications. Like suppose you are doing a PhD and your PhD is, say, for example, empirical analysis, and you are or quantitative and qualitative, and you have a lot of hypotheses, and then your statistical results actually you show to ChatGPT and tell me what is the significance of this hypothesis. So it will tell, okay, this hypothesis holds or not. Not only that, it actually tells you the policy implications from a managerial insight because that was a missing piece. So we needed a lot of human intervention to interpret the outcome of your PhD, right? But now it does that also. It's like you give a pathology report to the ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, can you tell me about this? It's like playing a role of pathologist, right? Okay, I think this is just one example I wanted to tell you. Like for example, if you just describe, it actually extract the name entities and then it actually takes you to the point. So here it says, okay, I'm looking for rupees 800 regular printed cotton necklace kurti. Now you just give to ChatGPT what it does. It's okay. The price is 800, sleeveless top, regular printed, and then you use your expert system, case-based reasoning, and it lands you to directly. And if you want to do a personalization, you can ask the customer, hey, something, do you want to select a color? And then it lands you. So I think there are a lot of opportunities, like if you're working on intelligence system to use Gen AI, and possibly you can develop a lot of application as well as you can write papers on that. So okay, I'll just stop here because I have another lecture at 10:30, so I can take up some questions if you have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sonar, for sharing your valuable insights and experiences with us. Your contribution to AI and intelligent systems are truly inspiring.
So
Moving
uh,
on, yes, sir.
thank you very much. So I'll just leave. Thanks a lot. I have a wonderful experience, and just I think just pick up the things from whatever speakers. Thank you very much. Best luck.
Thank you, sir. Moving on, our next distinguished keynote speaker, Mr. Vishal Jain, Director of Smartrix Consulting Private Limited, Gurgaon. Mr. Jain is alumni of IIT Kharagpur and IIM Ahmedabad. With over 24 years of experience in managing global projects, problem solving, and business growth, he is an entrepreneur successfully running an e commerce startup. During his tenure at Intel Technology India Private Limited, he managed global teams and projects in business intelligence, data analytics, data storage, Google search, enterprise portals, supply chain management, and HR domains. His expertise span go to market strategy, marketing, product development, operations, and enterprise IT architecture across high tech, analytics, and retail industries. Mr. Jain is passionate about mentoring startups, and has guided budding entrepreneurs in e-commerce, robotics, and education sectors. Today, he will be speaking on effectiveness of large language models LLM in multidisciplinary areas, exploring how LLMs are transforming diverse industry and enhancing the way we interact with data, automate processes, and make strategic decisions. Let's welcome Mr. Vishal Jain. Sir, the virtual stage is yours.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. So thank you for giving me chance to present and giving me opportunity to talk about this budding area, which is everyone is very excited about, and give me opportunity to give a platform where can I share my thoughts with everyone. So let me share my screen, ma'am. Give me 1 second.
Sure, sir.
Okay. So am I? Can my screen is visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Thank you, ma'am. So the topic agenda for today is generative AI in multidisciplinary area, and we will be talking about effectiveness, benefits, and challenges. So, Professor Rajendra has very well talked about AI, and he has showcased several areas where LLMs can be used. So, in today's session, what we'll talk about first for the benefit of all. We will have few minutes talking about what is basically generative AI and how it works, right? So we will spend some time on that and just a brief overview for the understanding of everyone, whoever is present in the session, what it is all about. Then we will start going into the different areas like drug discovery and pharmaceuticals, right, or medical sciences. That how different tools. They have several tools available in the market. So for the benefit of the researchers who are working in different domains, for example, if you are working in medical domain and you want to generate data set, training data for your project, how you can use generative AI to develop that training data set and which tools are available for that. Or if you are into the field of drug discovery, you know that drug discovery is very critical these days. And during COVID, the challenge was to bring the drug in very less time. So how generative AI has been playing role and which tools you can use or industry is using to come across and to solve these problems. And similarly, we'll go to the different domains like how the generative AI can help in better learning in the classrooms and what MIT is doing in that area. And then we will have a small demo of one of the tool from Google, because the challenge today is that the training data of ChatGPT is very huge, right? Or is very huge. But you are a student and you want to have some your LLM based on your specific data. For example, you are a researcher and you want to say that, okay, I just want to have this my LLM who can answer me my questions, who can develop me my notes based on these 10 research papers only. I am not bothered about rest of the work which is happening. I'm more focused in these 10 research papers. So how I can use different tools which are available free of cost in open source area. There are some versions are available over there, and if you want advanced feature, you need to pay, of course, for that. But how I can do that and make my learning more effective so that you can add more value to a research community and you can be more productive on that. So, and then we'll talk about the benefits and challenges over there. So this is typical the agenda for today that we are going to cover. So we start with the introduction to generative AI. So as we said that AI has different capabilities. One of the capability that we saw was understanding seeing the thing and understanding them. So we call it computer vision, where we are able to see the things using AI and understand them. Then we have this ability to understand what has been said, right? Or this we had natural language processing. But now here we are working towards one of the capability that human being only has got given by nature, that is ability to generate something, ability to create. So which distinguishes the human being from rest of the living world, like animals or other living objects and on the planet Earth. So AI is very powerful. That is, it can create something, as we have seen that it can create generate text, image, code. It is deep learning based. It is using neural networks like GPT and BERT, wide application in chatbots, content creation, research, and more. And it's always improving, right? So a lot of human interventions are there to help it improve. And then you have automatic feedback processes due to which is every day is improving, and a lot of researchers are working on that, make it more and more effective. And every now and then you see a lot of new tools are coming out in the market, which is making more and more cost effective and more efficient. So let's talk and brief introduction about generative AI. So we will be using some kind of videos animation for that, and the citation goes to three blue, one brown. So let us see some of the. Let's try to understand what is generative AI through some videos. So suppose you have a scenario where you have one content and you want to ask some question. You have some question over there, and here we have hidden the answer from the AI assistant. Suppose you have that question, and then you have a hypothetical magical machine which gives you an answer or what word come next given a text which is passed through it. So suppose you pass a text through it, it will tell you what comes next. So if you, in the same way, if you pass the complete text that you have in your hand, and then repeatedly keep on passing that text into this machine, it will keep on generating text based on what has been printed or what has been predicted in the previous cycle. So like that, it keep on evolving itself. And we call it like large language models. So this model which we're talking about is large language models. These large language models, they feed into one particular content, and based on that, it tries to predict what comes next. So one of the things, this is not a deterministic model. It comes in the probabilistic model, as we see in other in other deep learning models, that the last layer is always the predictive model, probabilistic layer, where it gives the probability of different possible outcomes, and the outcome which has highest probability is our answer. So here in this case, France has highest probability, so it will print Paris is a city in France, right? So it's a probabilistic model. Now, suppose you have a scenario that you have a typical conversation set, what has been a conversation between a user and the AI assistant. Then there is a question from a user, and this complete thing is passed to the large language model. And based on these algorithms, it predicts what is the next answer based on the probability. One thing that we have seen that in general situation, every time you pass the question into a large language model, it gives different results. Now, how it is done? Because in middle at random, it takes some other words which have low probability. You can see that as it's passing through, some of the words which are less probable answers and random, they are added into the answer. So based on that, it keep on generating answers, and when you ask the same question again, it gives you the different answer because it's breaking the sequence of the probabilistic answers that it gives, right? So it works this way to help the genetic the unique content every time. Now this large language models has been trained on million in very large data, and if you start reading this data continuously, you will take a human will take 2,400 days to learn all this content which these large language models have learned. And this is very huge learning that they have taken while developing these large language models. So these large language models, generally they have a knob kind of thing. Based on, we have seen that is basically probability that it works upon. So using these knobs, we can adjust the probability of different probable outcomes. And we call these knobs and different such kind of knobs as parameters of weight. As we adjust these knobs or parameters, these large language models keep on giving us the better and better results. And when we talk about large language models, one of the component of this large language models is this large number of parameters that we have to tune. So initially, these the parameters are set up random, and they may give some random results. They may not be the best result when we start training on them. So they can give some random results based on their own understanding. But as we keep on training this on simple text or a huge amount of text, it will try to predict what comes next. So, for example, it predicts worst, but the best answer was age. So we compare the predictive answer with the actual answer and keep on tuning these parameters to ensure that we get the result that we are expecting for. And we are using the backpropagation algorithms to tweak these parameters and making this answer which we are expecting or training this data set or our models based on that. Now, this training happens with the millions of this kind of data set, this kind of content that we have, and millions of parameters that we have. So this makes this model huge model, which can take, which can go through all the content available on the internet and keep on learning the new content and all. So if we say that we are doing 1 billion computation in 1 second, so how much time you think that this kind of learning will take? It will take minutes, it may take hours or days or years, months, years or hundred of years or thousands of years or 100,000 of years. So it will take this kind of time if we continue to learn this kind of, tuning these parameters and learn this kind of models. So one other thing that has been done is taking the GPUs have been helping us in that. And what they do, if we do sequentially, will take this time of time. But this is done in parallel using the GPUs. So earlier, our models were learning this thing before 2017 in a sequence. They were learning one word at a time, and that's why it is taking huge time. Now in Google 2017, Google comes with a paper attention is all you need, and they introduce one concept called transformers. So attention is all you need is where this evolution started with this particular paper, and that's where we started working on the transformers. So transformers earlier they were doing in series. Now they learn in parallel so that they can understand what is this. And another thing is that this is a context, right? So one important thing is context. So what it does, it break down this content in the numbers, because machine can understand the numbers only. It cannot understand these words. So it is converted into a numbers, and numbers are into a matrix. And then using the attention mechanism, in attention mechanism, it understands the context of the whole scenario what is talked about. Suppose we use a word called bank, they have a different meaning of that bank. It can be a river bank, or it can be a bank where you deposit your money. So when we talk about the word bank, it uses the attention mechanism and see that how this word is placed compared to the next of the words in this particular sentence or this particular text. Based on that, it's able to predict what is the actual word, whether it's a bank, river bank, or it is a bank where you deposit the money. And then it uses the layers of feed-forward networks, where it understand these patterns more better. And then there's several layers of attention layers and feed-forward layer. And using those attention layers and feed-forward layers, it keep on understanding the patterns within that large language text and keep on predicting more effectively what we are looking at. After many repetition, you have last lag, where it gives the numbers, and then here it calculates the probability of which word comes last, and based on that, it predicts the next last word. So in overall, that's how our large language model works, and it's a very brief overview for the benefit of everyone, that to have a better understanding of how this large language model works. So now may go to the part of our presentation is application side. So in application, when we talk about healthcare and medicine, so these large language models are used in medical diagnosis and research. They assist doctors in analyzing medical records, predicting disease, and identifying treatments. And as I said, that if you want to generate millions of records, how you can, or for your project, how you can generate. So generative AI can help us generate the records also, test data also, training data also, or drug discovery. So we will see next two slides. We will see how NVIDIA. We will take example of NVIDIA here. So how NVIDIA has launched some tools which is helping solving this problem. So next two slide we'll see the videos from NVIDIA and see that how NVIDIA NVIDIA tool are helping us in this.
Drug discovery is incredibly hard. Bringing a new drug to market takes more than 10 years and has just a 10% success rate. Between the complexity of biology and the near infinite chemical and protein combinations, discovering drugs to help cure disease is a truly heroic endeavor. Accelerating this process is mission critical for drug developers. There are three key stages to drug discovery: discovering the biology that causes disease, designing new molecules, whether those are small molecules, proteins, or antibodies, and finally, screening how those molecules interact with each other. Today, generative AI is transforming every step of the drug discovery process. NVIDIA BioNeMo service provides state-of-the-art generative AI models for drug discovery. It's available as a cloud service, providing instant and easy access to accelerated drug discovery workflows. BioNeMo includes models like AlphaFold, ESMFold, and OpenFold for 3D protein structure prediction, ProteGPT for protein generation, ESM1 and ESM2 for protein property prediction, MegaMolBART and MoFlow for molecule generation, and DiffDock for molecule docking. Drug discovery teams can use the models through BioNeMo's web interface or cloud APIs. Here's an example of using NVIDIA BioNeMo for drug discovery virtual screening. Generative models can now read a protein's amino acid sequence and, in seconds, accurately predict the structure of a target protein. They can also generate molecules with desirable ADME properties that optimize how a drug behaves in the body. Generative models can even predict the 3D interactions of a protein and molecule, accelerating the discovery of optimal drug candidates.
And let's see the example where NVIDIA has developed a tool which can help us, in the generative of the data.
Generative AI is transforming healthcare with synthetic data, unlocking high-quality, unbiased data from medical device companies, pharmaceutical companies, and academic medical centers, leading to faster discoveries and improved patient outcomes. Generative models can help identify complex disease mechanisms, predict clinical outcomes, and prescribe tailored treatments for patients. MONAI, a framework for building and deploying medical AI, is also advancing generative AI with methods to create large synthetic data sets for training generalizable AI models that can learn from evolving patient data while preserving patient privacy. The latent diffusion model is a breakthrough in generative AI for medical imaging and is being developed by King's College London, co-founders of MONAI. This model can generate synthetic medical images of the human anatomy, including high-resolution brain images. It was trained on the UK Biobank dataset and NVIDIA DGX Cloud in just 1 week, enabling researchers to control global and regional brain volumes and adjust for age, gender, and disease. Generative AI is already making an impact in clinical settings. King's College London and University College London have developed a novel transformer-based outlier detector that aids in clinical evaluation of deployed segmentation models. The results suggest that this approach can be used to ensure only expected and good quality data reaches downstream decision-making algorithms.
Okay, so let's move forward and go to the other application area, education and learning. So personalized learning. So we'll see an example. It is from MIT. So suppose you are very fascinated with one particular character or a cartoon character or scientist or anything, right? And if that person comes in your class to teach you, how it will look like. So let us see example of that and see that how it can be, it has been used.
Hi everyone, I'm Pat. I'm a PhD student at MIT Media Lab. With the advancement of generative AI, why are we using it to prevent us from learning rather than motivating us to learn more? Where the idea of an interest can be the gateway for the person to discover, the world of knowledge. Like for me, the dinosaur is the gateway for me to discover art, science, technology, and beyond. And that's why I'm here at MIT Media Lab, because I love to explore both worlds. So you might wonder, how might the idea of personalized learning that I discovered through Dinosaur has to do with my project? Well, we can explore the use of AI to create personalized virtual instructor that allows students to learn from the character that they are motivated to learn from.
Today, we will learn about quantum mechanics.
It is the description of the behavior of matter and light in all its detail.
In particular, of the happenings on an atomic scale.
They can learn from Einstein if they love Einstein. They can learn from Dinosaur, Mary Monroe, Harry Potter, any character that they want to learn from. And we want to see how would that impact students. We ran an experiment where people are learning from either a generic character or a character that they might be interested in. What we found is that when students learn from the virtual instructor that they like and admire, they have higher level of motivation, more positive emotion during the experience, and even more excited to learn more advanced material from that instructor. We are not trying to replace the teacher. We're trying to create new tools that the teacher can use to make the learning more exciting. They can use these AI characters as, invited guest lecture and have scientists come into class and share their personal story about how they discover their knowledge.
So this is one exciting area where a lot of work has been done across the universities, across the globe. And let's move to other field. There is business and finance. So AI, as we said, that can help in analyzing business trend, investment risk, and fraud detection, and more importantly, personalized content creation. So different, for example, if you are into the field of recovering the bad debt, and different individuals have different kind of scenarios, different situations. So if you have a personalized text which is very particular to that particular individual or a company or entity, so it is more effective in your communication rather than writing a generalized message or generalized template-based mail to everyone. So let us see example from BCG and how what BC has to say about application of generative AI in business and finance.
When we talk about GenAI in banking, there's a fine line on how to deploy it. Because on the one hand side, it's a new paradigm. On the other, the interactions that banks have with their customers typically need 100% accuracy. And there, the new technology presents a bit of a gap. The current opportunity for GenAI in banking is less about consumer-facing tools. It's more about how to synthesize a bank's existing wealth of information to make better informed decisions, provide very personalized client interaction, and significantly automate many core banking processes. The financial sector knows a lot about its customers, but it's also subject to strict regulation and always under scrutiny for standards of accuracy, security, and privacy. GenAI models are fairly easy to build, but in finance, the challenge is to apply them with the most impact and the least risk. That growing list of use cases includes chatbots and knowledge interface to support call center and in-branch agents, reducing call handling and training requirements. AI-generated, personalized, and targeted content at scale to drive more efficient marketing campaigns. Determining creditworthiness. GenAI can synthesize all kinds of data, structured, unstructured, from a range of sources, preparing loan decisions with greater accuracy. Surfacing information for relationship managers and financial advisors, maximizing personalized interactions. Custom software development as a co-pilot for coders, and onboarding new customers and automating paperwork. Especially when it comes to personal finance, you are dealing with very sensitive information. Banks will have to assess the quality of the GenAI, the sources and reasons, and decide how they want to use it. GenAI will bring a new source of insight that can automate and augment the core processes of a bank. That's where it will make a real difference.
Okay, so let's move to our field, science and research. So in science and research, it can help in data analysis and hypothesis generation and scientific writing and summarization. So this part I was talking about in my introductory note, that how AI can help in for the researchers. So Professor Rajendra has shown the example of the ChatGPT, but we will talk about other tools also which can help a researcher, right, to do the to understand the content on different sources, to read the research papers and write a better research paper for themselves. So we will have an example from Google. So let me share my screen again. And can you see my screen, ma'am? The new screen, or I need to share? So.
So right now, application science and research screen is visible.
Let me switch again and share again. So okay, so this is the example of Google LM. So we'll have a small. I've seen that not many. It was launched last year in 2024, and it's a notebook lm.google. This is the URL for this particular tool. and you just click on try Google LM, and it will open up a window over here. So for this demo purpose, I've already loaded one income tax bill 2025, and it's very huge data. It's very huge content, because it's just a bill which our finance minister has just introduced in last budget session, and something is coming up. So this is an example of to show the power and what the functionality of this particular tool. Now, once we load this particular source or whatever source we add to this notebook LM tool, our generative model will be working in this context only. It will not look around anything outside this context. So there are several things. You can load the conversation. If I click on the load, it may take some few seconds to load the conversation, so that it can create a podcast, right? Two people are talking about, and you can hear this particular content in a form of podcast. You can see the study guide, so it can briefing doc or FAQ or timelines. So it can give you a lot of new content over. So here you can ask a question. It is giving you some of the questions here also. So for example, new note. So you can open this note and it says that what are the quiz questions, instructions, you answers. So it can ask questions from it. It can easily questions. It can add key terms. So a lot of, so it's very helpful if they want to understand more about a particular content or piece of content only. And it shows you several kind of several sources, several kind of ready-made questions. So you can ask this question also: what is the most significant change by income tax bill 2025? And it can give you the answer based on that. And most importantly, you can see it is giving the citations also. You can see their citations also, right, where it is written. You can see that on this page, on 567 page number, this particular thing is written over here. So it is giving different citation also, right, from where it has picked this. And let's listen to the podcast that it has created.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to try to tackle something that's probably giving a lot of you a headache: the proposed 2025 income tax bill.
Yeah.
We've got a mountain of information to sift through.
Right.
We've got excerpts from the actual bill text, income tax bill 2025.pdf, and we've even got the explanatory notes that try to make sense of it all. But don't worry, we're not going to drown you in legalese.
Yeah.
We're going to try to focus on what you really need to know.
I think that's a great approach, because...
So this is an example of what kind of podcast it creates for you. And then you have FAQs. You can generate FAQs also, like some FAQs you can have, or you can have your own question to it. So this FAQ, you can read some FAQ, what is it about. You can do a lot of things with that particular. So in one nutshell, is your own particular personalized kind of note-taking tool, or which can be very useful for the academicians, the researchers, and as well as the students, right? And you can keep on adding more sources to that. And if you want to create you want to say that I want to have this conversation out of this particular only, PDFs only, or the content only, that's based on that only, right? And you can delete this particular data from here. Most importantly, it works in 38 approximately languages, and out of which several Indian vernacular languages are included. So if you want to give it a try and feel the power of generative AI, you can feel it from this particular tool. So now let's switch back to our main presentation. So I'm presenting again. So in this case, as we have seen the scientific result and summarization, these kind of tools. And one more tool I forgot to talk about is from Microsoft. So Microsoft has also launched this tool, and which is available with their 365 Office 365 subscription. So if you buy Office 365 subscription, they have a Copilot tool. It comes with a Copilot, and in the context of the content or the material that you have, it helps you generate the PPTs, right? It helps you generate the content also. It helps you prepare the PowerPoint presentation also, and lot many things helps you. So I don't have any demo video for that, but those who are interested in exploring the power of generating AI and how the generative AI can help you in your day-to-day work also, you can have a look into this Google LM and Microsoft Copilot. So let's move forward. In case of law and policy, as we talked about legal document review, so ChatGPT can help in that to 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 compare the different content, or if you can in the Microsoft Copilot, you can add two or three different contract, original contract and new contract, and see that what is the difference, or it can help you summarize the contract. Sometimes the contracts are very huge, so that they can help you pinpointing where there may be potential problem for your company. So a lot of things generative AI can do in legal document review, and it can help the lawyers and the people in the law and policy field be more effective. Engineering and technology. So we all know that it can help in software development. We have different chat GPTs there. We have Gemini is there, or other large language models. You can ask them to develop a code for you. You can ask them to debug a code for you. They will do that for you. And I think several people in this room have already tried this kind of functionality for LLMs, right? So we are not going too deep into that. And similarly, it can generate the different scenarios for threat, for your preventive security, and in cybersecurity, it has been very helpful also. So let's go to the benefits for the business. So it saves time, as we have seen that it helps you more productive, and productivity translate directly into the dollars, right? If you save on productivity, it's basically dollars. So if it is helping you to be more productive in your own work, it helps you, removing the repetitive task, right? So it is adding value to the business. It has productivity, efficiency in multiple disciplines. The examples we have already seen that how it is helping the productivity in so many multidisciplinary areas. So it improves accessibility and democratized knowledge. So earlier we were using Google or search engine, and search engine were very helpful in democratizing knowledge, but they are more particular. You can ask the particular question to them, and instead of searching several documents on Google, you have a ready-made answer in front of you, and facilitate rapid advancement in research and technology. So we have seen the tools, right, in this presentation from NVIDIA, how it can help you generate that data for your own research work or your projects, right? So it's very, very helpful for the business. Ethical consideration, one of the problem that these models are facing in bias. DeepSeek, as we know, that is very biased, and lot of content has been, lot of discussion is going on that how it behaves if a question is asked about the Chinese, anything related to China, right? So it's a biasness, right, that it is inbuilt. So some biasness can be intrinsic, that while learning from different content, it has done some biasness, or it can be the extrinsic, that the question, how the question is being asked, so it can give some biased answer, or ethical concerns, right? So biasness about the gender, about the race, or anything, and minorities or anything, right? So this kind of biasness creates some ethical concern, and this is not good. Misinformation, hallucination. So the our models can give some wrong answers. So this information can be very detrimental, and we have seen several examples in the media where the wrong answers have been very disasters for several people. Privacy and security concerns. So when we talk about DeepSeek, so people are talking that the data, when you ask a question or load a document, so where the data will be stored, right? And how those companies who are storing this data or maybe using for you, right? Or maybe using against you. So what kind of sensitive information you can load with them, or how, if those information is stored in some other servers, how it can be misused is a big concern over here. And high computation costs, of course, as you have seen that it is working on billions and billions of records and use so much of memory and processing power. So computation or learning process or training process is very high for these LLMs. Future potentials, right? More context aware of actually accurate AI model. So context is the key thing here, right? As we have seen that understanding the difference between when we talk about bank or when we talk about actor or any word you take. So bank means which bank it is talk about, or actor means which actor is talking about. So is particular. So it has to be in context, right context. So it has to be more context aware. So there's been a potential of AI. Explainability and transparency. As we have seen that these models work on deep learning models, and deep learning models are like, you input your data to them and you get the output. So how it is learning and how it's transversing different layers is very like a black box. So it works more like a black box. So explainable AI is something which several researchers are working on from several years, that how they can make this AI, AI more explainable, and see that how it is making those decisions. So if we understand how it is making those decisions, we can it can add value to the transparency and those problems, the challenges we are facing today because of AI or these LLMs. So we can solve those problems. It can wider integration into industry for collaborative AI human interaction. So we have seen that beginning of generative AI, we have seen some tools, but widespread adoption in industry in purely AI human interaction mode is still has to come, right? A lot of work is being done, has to be done in order to make it collaborative AI human interaction. So several researchers are working into that, so that normal people, right, like people, the common people can use them more effectively in their day-to-day life. We can bring the fruits or benefits of generative AI for masses, right? For that, we had to work more on the AI human interaction. Advancement in AI ethics and regulation to ensure responsible use, responsible AI, ethical AI, we say that sustainability. These are the fields where lot researchers and governments are working on. It is a problem as AI is growing. The field of ethical AI or responsible AI or sustainability is also growing at the same pace, right? Because AI development in AI, growth in AI, this kind of power that has been given to machine, right, which nature has given to human being only to create something. Now we are giving that power to a machine, and that can be misused, right? Any power, as we have seen in our Purans and Vedas, right, in the mythical histories also, that whenever these powers are given, they can always be misused, right? So there always a potential of misusing of this power which we have given to the machine, and most importantly, we have this field in open source field, right? So when it is open source, there are a lot of research paper over there, and a lot of people with wrong intention can use that information and misuse the power of AI. So there are a lot of work that need to be done to counter that. Several government organizations, governments, NGOs, and other organizations, corporates are also working to create research also So final thoughts before I finish over here. So LLMs have revolutionized multiple discipline area, as we have seen it through different videos, and making our work easier. So today, if you have to draft anything, understand it content, understanding a writing a code, right? So there are plus and minuses of that, but it is adding the productivity to us, right? So we can generate some content in few clicks, right? That's the power that we have. So it is making us more faster and more effective. It can help. So there's other side of it. People talk that it may lead to some unemployment also. So I have to say that this happens with every advancement of technology. But yeah, so we are seeing that how it is revolution, how it is sorry, the change the word, and how it is being helping us to be more effective. And there will be always a negative side of it. And responsible use, continuous improvement, ethical consideration are crucial for maximizing benefit. So with that, I finish my my presentation. And if you have any question, I don't know how much time I have to answer. But if you have any question, you can send me a mail at my email ID, vishal@cemetery.io, and I share my number also. Right. So thank you for your time, ma'am. Over to
Yeah.
you.
So thank you, Mr. Jain, for your
Over to
enlightening
you.
presentation on large language models and their impact across multiple disciplines. Your insights will surely help us understand the potential of AI driven innovations. Thank you once again, sir. With this, we conclude the keynote session for Track Artificial Intelligence. Now, I request you all to please switch on cameras for a quick snapshot of this virtual conference. Once again, a kind request to everyone, please turn on the cameras. Thank you all. Now we invite you all to join us for the lunch break. After the lunch, we will proceed with the parallel presentations for track 1, 2, and 3, where researchers will showcase their latest finding. Enjoy your lunch, and we look forward to seeing you in the technical sessions. Thank you.